lecture of catalygens. Um, Today we'll be looking at solve for x as part of our first lecture. So yeah, without any waste of time, let me just get a lot of things clear. We have laws of exponents which, when solving x, we should take them into consideration at all times. So laws like when we multiply same basis, we add the exponents. For instance, if we have a squared times b squared times a cubed, then it means we're gonna have a to the exponent 5, because what we do is, if we had, you can see these are the same basis, so we add the exponents. And another thing is, if we divide same basis, we subtract exponents. For instance, let's just say we have a squared over a cubed, which means we're gonna have a 2 minus 3, which is a minus 1. So yeah, we when we divide the same basis, we subtract exponents. And another thing is, there are so many things, mathematics is about solving problems. We can take it as if like we're solving problems which we encounter every day. Another person can solve it like this, and another person can solve it like that. So you just have to have your own strategy on how to solve it. This thing as well, we know that if we have an exponent that is a negative, we can say this thing is equal to 1 over a, because mathematics allows us to do that. So it's how you solve it. You should keep in mind that when it comes to maths, everything should apply. Just think of any rule, everything it should just be at one place, and try to execute whatever has been given to you. So another thing is you shouldn't forget about the Bodmer's rule. The Bodmer's rule should always be in your mind when solving x. When in maths, the Bodmer's rule is the first thing you don't wanna forget. Brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So I had a lot of students saying it's brackets off. No, it's bracket order. It's like you solve everything in the brackets, then you put them in order. Then if ever there's a division, you divide, followed by multiplication if it's there, followed by addition, and then subtraction is the last thing. Yeah. And another thing, we have these rules where if we have let me just say the square root of a, you can put it like a to the exponent half. This applies because maths allows us to do that. So yeah, if you have a square root of a number, you can say that number or that variable or whatever to the exponent half. So which means if it's a cube root, then it means it's going to be cubed, 1 over 3. So yeah, maths allows us to do that. And other things, you should know that whenever we multiply, if it's a negative multiplied by a positive, we get a negative. If it's a positive multiplied by a positive, then we get a positive. Then a negative multiplied by negative, then is a positive. Also, these are the things you should just keep in mind every time you're going to write maths or you are solving mathematics equations and formulas. There are so many things you have to consider, which I can't include all of them, but I believe all of you are studying and have studied. So let me just get right into our first equation to solve. And again, I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you other things and formulas which you can solve on your own as we progress, because this is the first lecture, and again there'll be so many lectures following up, so please keep in touch. Please guys, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first one to know whenever I upload a new video as we go on, because it will be just a sequence of videos which explains this thing we call mathematics. So without any waste of time, okay, let's do this. Let's just say, okay, obviously we're gonna start with simple ones before we can go deep inside mathematics. So the first thing I can put to you is just a normal thing, something I can think about. Let me just say we have 2x plus 1, it's 0. So this is very simple. You just have to know that all the rules apply, and everything you've learned still applies in everything here. So what are we gonna do? First and foremost, we group everything in order and start solving from there. So this is like 2x. Let's just take it like 2x. It's 2 bananas, and then when you put 1, it's another variable. Let's just say it's an apple. You can't add them together. So what do? Since we can't add them together, we take them to the other side. Let me give you a tip. If when you're solving x, when you're solving y, first rule is to group everything together. That's number 1. Number 2, those which are identical, you should add them. You should subtract them. Well, however it's suitable. If it's subtraction, then you subtract. If it's addition, then you add. Then after adding and after subtracting, after everything, then you're gonna be left with different variables. Then what do? You take the numbers to the other side of the equal sign and check if it works. Then from there, like in this case, we take the 1 to the other side, and we know that if it crosses the equal sign, it changes a sign. So if it was a positive like this, then it will become a negative. That's another thing. And if we can take it this side and still it doesn't solve our problem, then we take it back and then we factorize, or we use the quadratic formula. So yeah, in that way we're gonna find two different values of x. So yeah, let me just say, for instance, okay, the first rule, we take this one to this other side, then we're gonna have 2x being equal to -1. Then what do? This is solvable. Obviously. So we divide by 2, so that these 2 will cancel each other, and then you're left with x being equal to -1 over 2. And if you don't believe me, or if you doubt your answer in any way, you can take this answer, put it here on x, and then you'll see that really it's equal to 0. It's gonna be 2 -1 over 2 plus 1 being 0. So obviously 2 times -1 times -half is -1 plus 1 being 0. So obviously these will cancel each other, and 0 is 0. So it means x is really 0. So yeah, that's just the basic principle of maths. And another thing is, let's just put everything in a nicer way, and let me see what I can find here. Yeah, I found another equation here to solve. So please, let's just follow along. So here we have x minus 3 and x plus 1 being equal to 0. So this is another a very simple question formula or equation. So like I said, the Bodmer's rule should always be applied. So in this equation, x minus 3 is inside its own bracket, and then x plus 1 is inside its own bracket. So okay, here we're going to use what we call the distribution rule. The distribution rule. The distribution rule says you take first. Let me just. You take the first variable or whatever. You take it, you multiply it by the first one there, and then you take it again, you multiply it by this one here, the second one, and then so is 1 here, and then like this. That's what the distribution rule is about. So it means we're gonna have x times x being equal to x squared, because we said when we multiply the same base, what do? We add the exponent. When we multiply, we add the exponent. This one, x times 3 will be times negative 3 times negative 3 will be equal to negative 3x. Then when we come to this one, it's 1 times x, being, it will just be 1x, but you just write x. It's like you're saying I have 1 rand. Some people just say I have a rand, something like that. So it's just x. And then when you take 1 multiplied by negative 3, then you have negative 3 being equal to 0. So this is very simple. So from here, like we said, brackets, order. So now you put them in order, as you can see, like now they are in order. The one with the squared, the one with x, and then just the number. So from there, after order, you check for division, is not there, multiplication is not there, addition. Then you can see, okay, here's an addition, and these 3x and x is like having 3 x's and having 1 x, so you can add them, you see. So now we have negative 3x and x, which will give us squared negative 3x plus x. You can use your calculator. Will be negative 2x negative 3 is 0. Then from there you can factorize. Or you can use quadratic formula, which the quadratic formula says x is equal to b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac there is equal to 2a, which when you look at this formula, the number here, it's a. The number here with its sign, it's b. This number with its sign, it's c. So you just have to substitute in the formula, and then it's like when it's b plus or minus, which means you're gonna first use the plus sign on your calculator, and then lastly you're gonna use the negative sign, and then you arrive at the answer. When it says a here, a, you're gonna put 1, because we know that if it's x squared only, it means it's 1x squared. So you just put 1 here, and then on b, this is b. On c, then that's c. Then you just substitute and use your calculators to solve the quadratic formula. The first time you use plus, and then the next time you use a negative sign. So you're gonna get x being equal to a number, or x being equal to a number. The number here, you'll be using the plus sign here, and then the number here, you'll be using the negative sign on your calculator, then you arrive at the answer. So it's just so unfortunate that I don't have a calculator with me at the moment, but yeah, I believe you understand everything I've just alluded here. And again, let me just say, I think you understand. If you don't understand, please follow my Instagram account. It's follow me on Instagram, is Acatelligence. You know, Acatelligence. I will try to put it down there, and then yeah, follow me on Instagram, and then it's where you can DM me your questions, ask me any question you have. I'll try by all means to answer every question as fair and as soon as I can.